beautiful people. Welcome back to the Miss Best Reviews channel. I'm Mrs. Best. I do have my fabulous co-host from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel here. Let's welcome in James.
Hey, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Show my girl some love because I tell you, this ain't easy to do this. So, y'all, show her some love.
It really is not easy. We hope that you also subscribe to James's channel. The link is always in the description of this video. Click it. Give him some extra support. Just because why not support other people, right? But we are here to go over Basketball Wives. This was season 12, episode 3, titled Bad Tie / MING. I don't like these people. I just don't care for any of them, if that makes sense. Like in terms of the new additions. Brittany's not new, but she's kind of new, and I don't care that she's back. Ty Young, I actually don't mind on this show, but I want Ty to show herself, not the bitches that she can get. Because I feel like every show she's on, it's always centered around who she's dating at the time or who she has dated, or we see her guest, because she always seems to become entangled with straight women that are not fully available, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of not feeling it. But let's get into the episode. This should go extremely fast, in my opinion. We start with pretty much Ev and Jen arguing at the table after the little obstacle course. And Brandy did try to mediate and explain that kids should never be brought up, even if they are adults. Personally, I agree with that. Like if let's say me and James get into it and have a beef or something, right? I'm not going to like talk about his family, like if he had kids, his kids, whether they're grown or not. I wouldn't even bring up a spouse because sometimes you could trigger people. If for those who've been through it in relationships, y'all know. But you know, I was glad that Brandy said that because I feel like this cast for seasons, especially with the new era of Basketball Wives, season after season, they talk about each other's families and all sorts of crazy stuff, from husbands to kids to grandparents to parents, and people's styles of parenting. And I'm like, this doesn't go anywhere. It just starts beefs. And at some point we get sick of it. So just stop talking about each other's families. Keep your beef. If you can't read somebody for filth just based on what they wearing and how they look or how they smell, then in my opinion, you probably just shouldn't be arguing with people. But I appreciated Brandy for that. But Ev and Jen go back and forth some more. Evelyn alleges that Christian is not the real husband and that the marriage is not legal. And Evelyn also says that this will be the last time that she is around Jen. How do you feel about it, James? Because we already kind of stated how we felt last week, and they're not giving us much to go with.
They're not giving us much to go with, and it's more actually entertaining in the off season, considering that Evelyn is posting even more receipts of him lately, pertaining to his custody battles and everything. So I feel like the show really is just the prelude to what they're doing today. Because they both are coming at each other, both Evelyn and Jennifer, strongly.
I feel like, I don't know. A piece of me is like, do I really believe it? Because they don't have much relevance. Well, Jen has relevance, though. Jen is forever in the media for something, even when she's not dating. It's Ev, who, no shade, when she's not dating someone or on Basketball Wives, that isn't the most relevant in the media. But she gives me someone who's not okay with it, like not being relevant. So I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what Jen is doing. But Jen, you spending more time defending your husband than you are spending time with him. You spend more time speaking about his negativity by being willing to even entertain these ladies and defend him. You speak more on his negative stuff by doing that. I just want her to stop. And Evelyn will forever come for people's spouses. She did it with Brandy. She did it with what's her face, Jennifer. Evelyn's always coming for someone's marriage. She came for, who was the lady last year with the scary dangs who was on the show from Arizona? Who was that? I can't remember that lady's. Was it Vanessa?
Vanessa, that was her name. Because I was gonna say Susie, but Susie was not her name. Susie was the other Asian chick.
But But she comes for people, and I'm tired of both of them. So, you know, I never thought Ev and Jen would be close again the way that they were for true OG fans. The when Ev tried to climb across that table seasons ago when they were still in Miami.
Yeah.
I said, oh, they'll never be the same.
No.
You can't. Who's just friends with people they hitting or getting hit by? Who does that? Like if someone put their hands on me, we're done.
Over something that Jennifer ended up being right about all along in the first place. So it's kind of like, I don't give Jennifer much. I don't, because I don't like Jennifer. But at the end of the day, she didn't deserve the treatment Evelyn gave her. She didn't deserve that at all.
She didn't. I will say that. But Jen, you should have had this energy years ago. So I don't know. It's tired. The boy is a criminal. Moving on. So the ladies end up leaving the little event, and Chantel stays behind with Jackie. And I'm looking like, why were they? At first, I was like, are they cleaning up? Because isn't that what waiters and stuff is for? But they was gathering, I guess, some little funky decorations they brought. And Chantel asked her mama, like, why you got to go starting stuff? Jackie is funny, though, but she also had a point because Jackie says to Chantel, because this was going to come out anyway. It could have been worse. And I was like, you know what? That's actually sadly true.
Compared to a lot of people. It is true. At the end of the day, it is true. And I get Jackie wanting to get ahead of it. I do understand that as well. The problem that lies is that Jackie needed to do it in a more private setting, as opposed to doing it in front of all of the women. I think that is where I would have probably had more respect for Jackie if she would have just sat Evelyn and Jennifer down with just her. Maybe have one other person, like, who she should have at the table, since she want to be in the center of this picture, is Shani. She should have had Shani. She should have had Shani help her mediate between the two to help them get this all on the table. And then it would make her look less messy because they both probably confided in her the bullshit about the other person. So I don't know. That's just my opinion of
that Jen and Shani are that close. It's given more Shani tolerated her because Evelyn's the real friend.
Even still, Jackie shows allegiance to Jennifer more than she does Evelyn. So they will both have equal playing field. So I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like for me, I'm looking at it from a standpoint that I hate to agree with Chantel, but at the same time, it had to be done, regardless of how it was done.
Yeah, it would have come out eventually. And instead of making us wait forever for it to come out, and that's why Jackie keeps this show going. Even when it's not her in some mess, she knows how to produce, in my opinion. She knows exactly how to do it, and she does it in such a kooky way that you can't help but laugh. But moving on, y'all, we get to meet Denise, and I didn't realize till watching the little intro, what they call it, where us 90s kids, the theme songs is how I still think of it. But I was like, oh, they added Ty, Denise, and what the hell is that girl's name? Ming or whatever to it. I said, okay, so who's this Denise chick? So she has a baby with a basketball player by the name of Lonzo Ball. To me, she gives Angel Brinks vibes in terms of like the energy they were trying to add to the show. Personally, I don't know if James felt the same way, but she definitely gave that a little bit. But she's cooking with Britt, and Miss Brittany Winner mentions that dating has been hard because all of the Muslim men are married. And then she makes a joke about somebody maybe needing a second wife. And then she tells us that dating has been hard for her because she also found all of her exes on IG. Listen, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm going to break it down and then get James's opinion. Brittany Renner is known as one of them chicks, kind of like Eliza Reign on Love and Hip Hop Miami. She'll sleep with you. She got a baby out of somebody. Still didn't work out. She was pissed off her child support amount wasn't enough. Like all these little crazy things. The Muslim thing, I am not Muslim, but for those who don't know, my government name is Amina, which is a Muslim name. It has extreme meaning in that religion. So growing up Muslim, I just can't help but to take offense because not all Muslims believe that you should have multiple wives. Just like there are different denominations of Christianity, there are different types of, Muslim religion. Not everybody practices the same. Some people believe their way is right. Other people believe their way is right, and all of that. But I'm annoyed with this woman because how do you convert to Islam and then it seems like she's converted away from a mosque, like, and all of those things, but it's generally a religion where the men are usually pretty married or cuffed up, as the younger people would say. So I'm looking at her like, if you're having a trouble attracting a Muslim man, I think you'd have better luck if you were not on this show. One, and then now in real time with her dating Kevin Gates, I cannot take this woman seriously. If she got to this religion based on care and being genuine, fine, great for her. But it seemed like she was just looking for a way to like rebrand herself or something. But I still look at her as the bop that like to get pregnant by ball players. But I don't really care for her storyline. So how you felt about her, James?
The same as you. I don't care for her storyline either because it doesn't make sense.
Damn.
And it's a tad bit illogical for her to think the way she does. It's very illogical. It's very illogical, and it's also very, like, if I was somebody that was born into, the native of Islam, I would be offended with her doing this. Like, as you just said, I would be highly offended. I would actually petition her to get off the show because it's a misrepresentation of the religion itself and the ways about it. I just think she is just. I think she's realistically just making a mockery of this. And this is sad. It's sad that I feel this way about her, but it just does not come across authentic. And that's just my opinion. It doesn't come across authentic at all.
Yeah. I think most people feel that way. Again, if this is authentic, I'm totally for it. I think the discipline that comes with Islam is something that most people can benefit from. And I'm not even Muslim myself. So I think there's beauty and discipline that you can get from all religions, but if it ain't real, girl, go straight to hell. Politely moving on, we're gonna then talk about Jen, Brandy, and Jackie going out. Anywhere Jackie's at, I'm sorry, I know Jackie is not the best mom, and she probably is a little bit shady as a person, but she's funny as hell for TV, so I'm here for it. But Brandy brings up Jennifer again, and she mentions that she worries for Jennifer. And Jennifer gets upset with Brandy for saying this, of course. And she says, "Why are y'all worried? I'm not going through anything. I'm happy." I'm like, whenever people have to shout it to the rooftops or say that they're happy with their chest, or if you even have to say I'm so happy, there's something that you either doubt or insecure about that happiness, or in my opinion, you're just really not that happy. Because people who are happy don't usually just talk about, I'm so happy. They just exist in joy. So I don't trust Jen worth a goddamn because of that. And then she mentions once again how none of the women in this group talking to the confessional are a beacon and or example of marriage. She mentions Brandy's relationship, and the producers ain't shit because they put the receipts up there on what happened with the Yanla and all of that and his cheating. They also went and showed Evelyn's past negative relationships. They showed all sorts of stuff, which I thought was kind of funny. Jen, you have a point, but you also came on this show divorced and going through a messy divorce. The man threw a drink in your face, I'll never forget. So it's kind of like your marriage was a joke when you had one too, and then you've dated criminals, like actual criminals. We can say that without the alleged. You dated the criminal with the hips. What was that? Off somebody for hire plot, James? What happened?
It was off somebody for hire plot for insurance money.
Yeah.
His own blood relative, actually.
Jen basically dated the Black Tiger King because that's what he did to that lady.
So to me, I just felt like that to me, ma'am, you have no room to talk. You have no room to talk. You are literally, we are giving Christian a pass on one little case because Evelyn's at the center of it. And he made more sense than Kiki did. But like most smooth operators, they do. But I'm not blind by that. I know there's probably more to this story and probably more to a whole bunch of other stories. So, but for you to sit up there and try to play Brandy and play Evelyn as if you weren't in some bullshit yourself, that was deplorable and funny. Because I looked at that scene and rolled my eyes. Because you're no better than them.
That's
Sure,
true.
because we don't know how many times Eric has cheated on you before you decide to pull the plug. So let's not go there. And we don't know how much money Tim Norman in his hips and the other dude who stole your Range Rover got up out of you before you actually said, fucking, I'm done. So I don't want to hear this from you, Jennifer. I really don't. Like, to me, right message, wrong messenger.
Yeah, because we've all known and said season after season that none of these women really represent marriage. That's been a big question of why Basketball Wives is even still on TV. And I feel like she knows that. But in real life, outside of these shows, I know to anybody watching, listening to us, and me myself, anybody I know who's like a serial dater that does it in a way that's like toxic, like just finds every checkpoint that you could find of toxicity, they always end up finding like love. And then how come no one's supporting me? Why is everyone questioning this? And when that doesn't work, now we're seeing Jennifer do the, well, that's my husband. You can't just talk about him. And so I'm just looking at her like, if you didn't make the worst decisions when it comes to men, nobody would have shit to say, probably, even if dude was a criminal. Because there's been lots of Basketball Wives that have dated men in jail, going to jail, on the way to jail, however you want to put it. So I'm sick of Jen. I think we all are.
Because she doesn't make sense. She's stupid. And it's kind of like, I'm just tired of her always like ready to play victim, but while spraying everybody else. It's crazy.
I can agree with that, Joe. I can agree with that. Now, you guys, we're going to move on to Evelyn meeting with her daughter, Shanice. Shanice looks great for someone who just had a baby, especially her first baby. She got that weight off. Maybe I need to get into yoga and start folding myself into pretzels again because, wow. But I'm going to be a little messy, y'all. Shanice don't look like her mom's daughter. She's a beautiful girl, but she looked like she her mama age. Mind you, Evelyn looks great for her age, but Shanice is my age. So I feel
like a very old look.
I think it's all the makeup she puts. I feel like if she wore less makeup, she would look a little younger because she's a sweet girl. She's educated and she's beautiful. But sometimes you wear too much makeup, kind of like the prom.
It isn't until like her look, isn't she opens her mouth that I realize that she's younger. Yeah,
that's not good either, James.
Yeah, it's only when she opens her mouth. Like when she opens her mouth, you can see that she's younger. But when she has her stone look, yeah, she does look older. Like she looks to be the same age as Evelyn, which is not the best compliment to give her.
Welcome in, Shani. We thank you for being here. It looks like StreamYard automatically put your little comment up there. So let me move myself and James. There it goes. Now things can be seen. Anywho, I'm happy to see you, Shani. I think she is prettier than Evelyn in terms of having like a more exotic or ethnic look. Because I've seen a lot of chicks that look like Ev, no shade to Ev. But I just want her to do eyebrows that aren't so dark. And so she doesn't need all the makeup. If you don't need makeup and then you wear it, it's not always becoming of you. So I can understand that. But let's keep it moving, y'all. So Evelyn tells her daughter of the drama with Jen because Jen had said to Evelyn, like, your daughter's with a felon. And Shanice said, that's not true, girl.
Okay.
Go listen to your baby daddy's first album. Go watch some old episodes of 106 in Park, the VH1 and or MTV News.
I was gonna say, actually,
get an old source magazine.
Actually, you don't even need to pay for it. It's actually on Google. So
he just got a recent felony too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Something for him allegedly assaulting somebody in a way that they should not. Because I ain't trying to have YouTube flag me and all of that. But Yeah, he's been in recent trouble. His house right now is up for that girl to collect for him because she sued him and won for him assaulting her. So I'm like, maybe he didn't get aggressive with you, Shanice, because of how you could fold yourself over and look behind you. Maybe that helped. Because, girl, doesn't make no shame. I'm reading the comments. I'm cracking up. Let me get through them. Evelyn looked like every other chick from the Bronx from Fordham Road. You know what? I think anybody from New York or California, we've seen 1,000 Evelyns because we have very large Hispanic and very diverse Hispanic and Latino populations in our states. Some of the largest in the country. So Evelyn, yeah, those who know, they know, dime a dozen. Shayna said, hey, everybody, I didn't watch it yet. Did Jackie slap her daughter?
That wasn't going to be no slap. That was going to be like a straight up tug at her with her fist.
Let me tell you this. I am cracking up. By the way, subscribe to Shayna's channel, both of them. I am cracking up. I joined Shayna's live, I think a few days ago, and she was doing this show. She recaps it as well. And she said, I don't even care for this show. I'm just here because I want to see her say her daughter smack her or something. I said, Shayna.
We all want to see it because I told y'all we don't like what is that girl? Shani or whatever her name is. I don't like her. So
yeah, I don't think anybody does. Shani said, I'm waiting for that too. I'm waiting for Jackie to go straight off the hook on her daughter. I think that's honestly, I get good views on this show, but I don't like to cover it because it's a headache. But I want to see Jackie snatch her ass up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think Jackie's daughter hit that hard. I don't know why. I just don't think that she does. But yeah, there was nothing else that happened in that conversation. Shanice was offended at all of it, and she just wants to be left alone. And I'm like, Evelyn, why are you going to this girl and saying that? If she is not talking to the press and she wants to stay private, then respect that and leave it private. The moment you take it to her, you keep the discussion alive. But Evelyn is willing to do whatever to whoever, even if it's her daughter. So I didn't like that, but I don't care that her and Jen made peace last year because that shit was fake as hell. I just don't care. Thank you. James, you have anything to add?
No, we can move on.
Okie dokie. So here comes another headache, y'all. Ming and Ty decide, well, they make it seem like they back together because Ming was staying with Ty, which pissed me off because this whole scene felt scripted. Listen, Ming is well known for her business and stuff, but like individually, I don't really give a flying fuck about her. I'm sorry. I can't lie to y'all. And I don't like what she did to her face. I just don't. I really don't. But Ming is looking for places to live because she knew to LA. Her and Ty used to date. They making it seem like so much more than it was. It was 9 fucking months. It was 9 months, and I'm not accepting the lesbian year, this and that, because regardless of your gender, getting to know people doesn't change. Regardless of who you date, how you get to know people and the time that takes doesn't change. They don't. 9 months, and it sounds like the whole 9 months they cheated on each other, all sorts of craziness. So I don't care. Like, if we had watched this couple together on Basketball Wives and then watched the relationship fall apart, even if it was only for a month of dating, I would care more. But they came onto this show with this breakup situation that I just cannot seem to get into. In my opinion, it seems like there's nothing but sexual chemistry, and that's just what it is. But Ty is the type of chick, and we talked about this a little last week, where her swag, like, I feel like it's very easy for people to feel sexually attracted or, drawn to Ty, which we also saw last week in the comments a little bit in the chat. But essentially, Ming doesn't want to get back together, even though she's in the house with Ty and willing to make her a sandwich and all this stupid shit. Ty is not willing to just be friends. Ty wants a relationship. But Ty, if you wanted a relationship, I don't understand why she didn't act right when she was in the relationship. But I think Ming just wants to play games and sleep with Ty when she feel like scratching that itch. But I think Ming likes dick. I'm saying it. I think she prefers it. She might stray here and there, but I can't see Ming like being with a woman. That's just how I feel. James, how you felt?
I agree to some extent. I don't see her being with a woman. I just think she likes how Ty does whatever she does with her. I
Mm.
think that it's addicting. I think that it is probably better than any man she has ever had. So I do agree. I don't think she's into him. I just think she's strictly just into Ty because there is a such thing as that.
There is.
So I feel like that's what we're looking at. And she doesn't know how to control. So whatever it is that Ty does, because I've seen this behavior out of Mimi as well. Whatever Ty does, it has to be immaculate. Because the fact that these women lose their mind and lose every bit of common sense that they were born with is just amazing to me. So whatever Ty does, I don't know what it could be, and I really don't want to imagine it. But it works.
Honestly, I think it's something as simple as nobody knows a woman's body better than a woman, and no man knows a man's body better than a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really does come down to that. And a lot of men, from what I hear from my friends that I've dated, promiscuous, you know, the different people that they may have slept with, the things, it just doesn't sound like very many of them are satisfied. So maybe these men's don't all know what they're doing. That's how I get from it. But Ty also makes sure to tell Ming that she was told that Brandy thinks she was cute, which was messy as hell. And I was like, oh, you that type of bitch, Ty. You messy. You messy, messy. And then we see her hit up Brandy because we know that these two gonna end up hanging out. Let me get the comments, y'all. I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm so sorry. It looked like Jackie go be coming from down south with that hook. I cannot. You know what, Shani? Does Ming have a baby with a ball player? I did not catch if she had a baby with a ball player or not.
No, I just thought he was just some random ass man.
Yeah, because she mostly told us it was a miracle baby. I think she connects to the show. Her ball player is Ty.
Yeah, it said ex-girlfriend of Ty Young. So yeah, she definitely is through Ty.
She just, I don't know where the other ones came from, but maybe get back to them. Let me see. Shayna said, I would have rather seen Ty on Housewives of Atlanta with Drew. Me too. That would have given, but then everybody else.
Do you really think Drew is about to incriminate herself though, like that?
Drew will tell 10 lies. It's my friend. It's my friend. My
exactly, which is why we know Drew's gonna be full of shit. So Drew not gonna waste her time incriminating herself. She got this big ass divorce case that is not looking in her favor whatsoever now. So
I want to know what judge would look though at a divorce and say, you were trying to take her money from 2005, even though you've had your own money throughout the relationship and have not shown us your financials. Like what? That doesn't make sense.
I already told you I want to see this. I want to meet the judge. I want the judge to come on the show.
I don't know, but Drew, even after the divorce settlement, I think she should still fight it, or at least what the judge said in some way. I wouldn't let the shit go.
I would contest it all the way because there's no way. There's no way. Not from 2005. Now, if he wants the shit from 2000 and when they get married, 11, 14, one of them, fine. But going back to way before I knew there was a him that existed, no, absolutely not.
He's trash for that, especially if he does do well. It's stupid, but I don't think nothing should happen in Drew's case without both people's financials being made public. Like he should be held in contempt of court for not doing it. But moving on, y'all. Chantel and Jackie end up meeting up again. We're not going to talk about this like that because nothing happened. But all that happened is she made it clear her husband, Daquan, who is, I don't know what the fuck his mama was thinking naming him that, but he is going to be coming, and Jackie has not met him, and Chantel does not want Jackie to meet him. Until Chantel can tell me what Jackie would do to this man, like, you got to tell us more. Be like your other sister, Chantel. What did Jackie do? She detailed being treated incorrectly, being made fun of, put on diets. What did Jackie do to you? Because I would understand and accept all of this coming from the other daughter. I would even understand and accept it coming from Dougie, the little Dougie, the son, because he's the only son and moms be tripping over their sons. It's just a fact. But for Chantel, She seems like the child that was most coddled, most spoiled. So I don't get this animosity toward her mama. I think she just liked Jackie, and that's probably what causes them to clash. And I don't think she actually has a reason. But
I think there's something wrong with that man that she don't want Jackie to see.
because she'll call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so smart.
I do. I feel like she's hiding something, and she don't want Jackie to know about it. And I feel like she's hiding that man so Jackie won't see, because Jackie gonna smell the shit out until she can't do it no more. And by that time, the man would have gave up and exposed it. So I feel like there's something going on with that man that she don't want Jackie to know about.
Let me get the comments. I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen. It's very small on my screen. Let me see. Oh, no, I can't see them. Let's see. Shani said, ain't Jessie Smollett, sister, yes, Journey, going through something similar with her husband. She is trying to divorce, and he is trying to take her money that she had when she was a 6-year-old on Eve's Bayou. I said the gall of these niggas. I can't. I just cannot.
From what I understood of that, he's entitled to her retirement. So that's when he would get it. So when she retires as an actress, he gets.
They must have gotten married. And so in California, if you divorce, unless your divorce is due to abuse, I know domestic violence or having a restraining order is one of the only ways that your spouse will not have access to your retirement unless you have a prenup.
Yep.
And if you forget to include it in your prenup, then they'll honor the prenup, but then your retirement will go to them. So California has weird laws with that. My mom went through it. I got cousins that went through it. I said, that's why people got to be careful how and when you get married, because you find out who you was married to when you go through the divorce. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I think he's been married to her for longer than 10 years. So I think that's why he got the entitlement to it.
Yeah.
So if I was Journey, I would never retire.
Yeah. Be like Cicely Tyson, child. Work till you can't no more.
Because then at that point, there is no contestant here he can do. Because technically, you don't have a 9-to-5. So he can't be entitled to anything that you technically are not drawing.
And if he gets remarried, that entitlement goes.
That entitlement's gone. So yeah, I got your Journey. Just work until you can't no more. Hell, that's what you got to do. Outsmart him. Yeah, because he can't get it before. So hey.
Or I'd let him have it and just find ways to sue him as often as possible. Oh, you mentioned my name here, defamation. Oh, and make him be spending my money on court. Bitch, don't play. People need to get creative. Look, I'm telling on myself. Anybody going through divorce, call me. We'll get them. Ming ends up going out with Jennifer and Brandy. Ming child, I can't read, y'all. Ming ends up going out with Jennifer. And at the same time, Brandy is going out with Ty. I'm going to do the best I can with all of this. But with Jen and Ming, they do discuss Ming. And why did Jen ask this girl, does she want to be with a man or a woman? Like, if that was her girlfriend, like if I was asking something like that to James, right? And I use him as an example because he has dated both. And I'm not outing his secret. He's already said that on this live.
I was going to say, I've already said I'm engaged to another man. So, yeah.
But still, like if something like that, if I were to say something like that to you, knowing you almost 20 years, I'm like, okay, do you know if you want a woman or do you want a man? Fine. That can make sense. We know each other well enough to get through a conversation like that. If you don't know people that well, I don't think you should be asking them stuff like that so bluntly. I get that they're on the show, but I'm like, Jen, you got a lot of questions for a bitch that can't answer one about your husband. I'm sorry, your fiance. I don't understand.
Well, so is she really not legally married to that man?
So she does admit to that in this episode.
I missed it.
Because it comes up that Brandy had commented on Ming's. Yeah, Ming didn't answer the question of if she wants a woman or man, by the way. But it comes up about the comment that Brandy had made about Ming. And they show this clip of them in a bus going somewhere. And they were talking about makeup. And basically, it came out that Ming had got her makeup done. And Brandy was like, why, girl? There's TikTok tutorials. I do my own. Absolutely, because a lot of women do save that money. You know how much it costs to get your makeup done constantly. So I didn't take it watching that clip as Brandy throwing any type of shade at all, but I guess Ming did take it as shade, and then it does look like she's also jealous of this Ty situation because she brought it up. And I'm like, that wasn't even nothing that deep. Like, it wasn't that deep.
It really wasn't. It was like, Ming, have you seen Brandy's makeup? I mean,
It's
do we
clear she
really?
doesn't.
Okay, it's very clear she did. I would be shocked if she told me a makeup artist did that shit. Like, I'm sorry. Brandy's makeup, and I've said this before and I will say it again, Brandy wears way too much foundation.
Yep.
She wears way too much she does way too much contouring. She does way too much with the eyeshadow. It literally looks like she spray paints it on her face. It literally looks like she got one of them tools where it's just spray painted on, and then she just fills in the other parts of her face. It just literally looks, it's
Which
terrible.
is a common rookie mistake for women that are not trained in makeup. Because I be seeing girls walking around the Bay Area with shit caked on their face, and then you can't even appreciate the makeup because there's so much of it.
There's so much of it. I feel like if Brandy hugged me, her whole face print gonna go on my shirt.
I can't stand you, James.
No, I'm serious. I feel like Brandy's face, and it would be accurate as hell. She has way too much makeup on. So for me to take that as shade, when you actually look at Brandy, it's like it's one of two things. It either doesn't look as harsh live than it does on TV, and to maybe that's why she got offended, or Ming is just self-conscious about her own face and looks and doesn't want by commenting on that or making any direct insults to what could be a flaw of hers. It's one of the two. But I'm willing to believe that I'm gonna give Ming the benefit of the doubt because I don't know her. That maybe Brandy's makeup doesn't look as harsh as it does on TV, because on TV, that shit looks ridiculous. And she's been doing this for way too long.
I think that also when she does her confessional looks, I do think that she does pay for makeup artists at times because we've seen her get her makeup done. But I also feel like somebody saying, oh, yeah, I pay, and then telling you how they learn themselves. Now, if she would have been like, I do my own makeup, you tripping, then it would have been like, okay, is that a dig? Is that shade at my skills at doing makeup? But then she was like, this is how I learned and told her. So I was like, that's definitely not shade or nothing like bad. That irks me so much. But that's all that happened with them too. So at the same time that they're meeting, Ty is meeting with Brandy. And Ty mentions that she keeps getting and ending up with women who are straight. She's basically alleging that all the women that she dates have dated men, and she's like the first woman they've slept with, dated, things of that nature, which I'm like, you have the power to get it who you want. If you hear that, you don't have to still date them. I'm just saying, But Brandy asked Ty if that's the game. And Ty kind of returned with a no after looking at her crazy, but she did admit that it was the first time that Ming had ever been with a woman was with her. So I'm like, so that's why you're saying that. But I don't know. I still can't get invested in it. But I'm glad that Brandy is hip to Ty's game, to say the least. At least she's aware of her, because she does have a pattern. Because it's probably easier for you to bullshit with women that ain't never dated women compared to bullshitting with a woman who has dated a woman. So I don't know. That's how I felt about it. How'd you feel about Ty and Brandy, James?
I feel like this is VH1 trying to throw something at us that don't make sense, because I couldn't take the scene seriously. So I really mixed a lot of the context. So hearing you say it right now makes me want to go back and rewatch it, just because I really did want to take it seriously. I felt like VH1 was playing with us and trying to drop a little bug in our ear about Brandy. And I feel like, even with her asking questions about me, it still made it seem like in reference Ty's game of how Ty gets women.
It is. Ty told on herself. How you gonna say you keep ending up with women like that when you're the more dominant woman and the one that's initiating the relationship, initiating the interaction?
Right. To me, it's like you like to play with people. That's what it gives me. You like to play with women.
Yep.
It ain't so much the women that are you're choosing. It's the fact that you choose women that will get emotionally invested into you so deeply. And then what you do is to breadcrumb them, you go and play and say, hey, well, this is just my friend, even though y'all talk for 30 hours a day on the phone, even though there's only 24 hours in a day. But that's beside the point. You play with women's emotions and stuff because it's a game to you. It's to say, I got you. So if I need $30,000, you're gonna write the check. Or if I need you to be here, you're gonna be there when I call. It's a game. And the fact that you women allow her to snake her way up in y'all lives like this, y'all got nobody to blame for yourself, because at the end of the day, she's showing her true colors. She's being real. She's exposing what it is. Y'all just want to see something different.
Yeah, but I also want Ty to stop playing innocent, because you're not innocent.
No, she's not. And I feel like this whole thing with Ming, as I said, Ming ain't innocent either, because you're allowing your emotions to get that heightened. But at the same time, Ty, you ain't shit. And I can see that clearly.
Yeah, it's clear. It's very, very clear. I don't think Ty's been faithful since she was with Mimi, honestly. After Mimi, I think, and during Mimi, I think is where the
I don't even think Ty was faithful with Mimi. I really don't. I don't think
and I don't think she was. How can you, when everybody can go and watch your female getting her back blown out by a guy with a messed up hairline that looked like a character on the shower rod? Hey, they ruined that.
I forgot about that.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
But that's what Ty does. I noticed also with the women she dates, she's very careful to get with women who like have done things publicly that would remind us like, oh, they're not so innocent themselves. Because she's very quick to be like, but who were you DMing? Who were you DMing, Ming? And things like that. And it's like, okay, but she wasn't doing that at first. So how many different hoes did you DM? So it's weird. To let everybody know, because we're going to move forward, I don't want to discuss the scene with Brittany and the matchmaker. It is no disrespect to the Muslim religion. It is entirely disrespect to Brittany Renner. I don't care. I don't want to see nobody doing matchmaking and shit like that, especially when they're running around today talking about they have a man that's married to somebody else. And Kevin Gates does not count as a real Muslim to me, when him and Drika allegedly was having threesomes and all types of little mini freak off parties like the Diddler in Baton Rouge. Ask me how I know. I got family there. It's a small place. So you'd be like, oh, this person made it sometimes. But yeah, I'm not talking about it. James, did you want to add anything to it?
No, we can move on.
Oh, I guess he didn't see the point either. So Brittany and Brandy and Ty go to an IVF clinic together. This was strange. I understand going and supporting your friend, but I'm not going to, like, you got to be like, I don't know, like even my closest friend, I've taken her to the doctor a couple of times. Hell, I've had a surgery. We shake each other's hands, give a hug, and I let her have her privacy with her clinicians. Like, why was Ty's legs spread up in the air with Brandy right there? They just now meeting. I don't understand. That was weird to me, but Ty got some healthy follicles. James?
I ain't got nothing to say on that.
That was weird to me. Shawnee, you're doing terrible with this show. Miss what is her last name now? Henderson.
That is Shawnee O'Neal to me. I am not about to sit up here and play semantics with some Shawnee. That is Shawnee O'Neal. I'm going to continue to say Shawnee O'Neal. I'm sorry. That's what we knew you for 30 years of. Why would you now go and change your last name to some shit that you probably ain't going to have 5 years from now?
I just want Shawnee to come on TV so that people can question her and ask why her husband is asking for minimal offerings from his church of $1,500.
She's not going to answer that.
I would love to know, in the name of Jesus. But we go moving forward. So the last thing we get in this show is Brandy meeting with Jennifer to eat. Well, one of the last things. And Jennifer comes telling her of all the drama with Ming viewing the makeup comment as shady. And then she mentions the issue with Ty and is she cute. In this situation, I was on Brandy's side because why? Why is Ming coming for her? Why is Ming so threatened by a woman that she claims she don't even want? Like, none of it makes sense. It looks like Ming is just trying to find a way to get into the drama, because I think Jasil was a thud and they probably want new people to come and get in the drama versus try to mediate. But Jennifer and Brandy then move to talk some more. And Jennifer mentions how Brandy has been in her relationship. And it seems like Jen is just upset that her relationship's being questioned, as we stated before. But Brandy mentions actually being concerned for Jen again. And she asks Jennifer about the legality of her marriage. She's like, and now it's being said that y'all didn't really get married. And this is the scene where Jen was like, no, because they had a lot going on. They're not legally married. She said, and I quote Jennifer, she said that all that mattered to them is they did it before God and all of their loved ones and the place that they wanted. And then Jen followed that up saying, we're going to make it official now that we're back in LA. We're going to have a small guest list and only invite the most important people to it. If I have a wedding, right, I would do a small bullshit funky ass wedding here in the States, and I would get my small guest list, help them get on a plane, and we all go to Paris and do the damn thing. So, but what people don't understand is if you're trying to marry a felon in another country, like, it's going to be a little difficult sometimes. They don't always let you do that everywhere. So I'm wondering if that was a piece of it. But all I needed to hear was that they are not legally married. She said they were married before God. And they're going to be planning to do some type of Vegas wedding. Because Brandy asked, will she be invited? And Jennifer said the conversations about her husband need to halt. And I'm like, why are you inviting people to your wedding who are having conversations about your husband? I don't know. The way I love my husband and the way I loved him back when we got married, nobody needed to fucking come who even had a negative thought about him. And that's why I eloped. I said, y'all got me twisted. I'm going to do what I want. I eloped. No, it won't last. And we still together, and it's been 17 years. So, yeah, I don't understand Jen's statements. Like, nothing she says makes sense. So, Jennifer then decides that she can invite Brandy to this wedding. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Jen definitely is temperature checking things, but how can you want the world to trust this man when you don't trust him enough to legally marry him yourself? Why wait? Because it's just a document. I don't understand it. So I'm pretty over it. James, how do you feel about it?
It's giving Yandy and Mendices.
Yep.
And so, because as soon as she said that, I said, okay, so you basically is trying to Yandy and Mendices this shit. Okay. Jennifer, that's old and played. What's the reason why you don't want to marry this man?
Please tell us.
Please tell us. Do you believe the hype that Evelyn is? Were you already privileged to that shit before, and then Evelyn found it? Now you feel like you gotta defend it?
Right. Because any other time, Jen would have flexed her wealth and been like, I can have this person come and bring the form, like, to the court. But Jen didn't do that, which was odd.
It's given you ain't trying to be involved in that shit and have your money linked to whatever he got going on.
She should have kept this boy private and left the show. If you knew that your man had felonies like this, you should have kept him private and left the show, or you should have confronted those felonies the moment that you brought him on the show, spoke for him, spoke about it, and then it could have been done. But she didn't do that. Is it Myra or Mariah? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because I hate fucking up people's names. I hate it. She said, I don't think it was what Brandy said that offended Ming. It was how Brandy said it. I mean, if you offended Ming, then say something in the moment. Don't wait and go have several conversations with other people about it. Like, because the way Brandy said it, she was chewing, and she was a little dismissive of it, like, just do it yourself, why pay? But that's not something that big of a deal.
Right. I still, even how she said it, it wasn't like, once again, context is everything. When someone tells you something like that, And when you look at their face and it does not look like it's on par, then what are you offended by? And no matter how or what they say, why would you be offended when their own shit doesn't even look like, it can stand the test of time on their face? Because as I told y'all, I feel like if Brandy hugged me today, her whole face print will be on my t-shirt.
I can't stand you.
So I just don't feel like, to me, I feel like Ming wanted to get offended because it was misplaced. I feel like there was more to that than just Brandy talking about some makeup and that you could do it yourself. I think that there's more to that.
There's definitely has to be more to it. It could have been editing, but even so, she said it calmly. If that's what it takes for someone to be offended, then people need to work on their emotional strength, in my opinion, because that's too damn much to be offended by. I think Ming is just looking for a way to mix in, and I think she also knows that Ty is probably gonna make a move on Brandy, because Brandy is what Ty would like. She's attractive. She's coming out of a bad relationship. Ain't been with women. Brandy is exactly the mold of what Ty would want. I feel like Ming is just jealous or some stupid shit, but we'll learn more. We don't know. They edit the show so badly. But we appreciate everybody who's here, everybody who's commented. You guys, we're going to end this live, but once the live is over, you can still comment. Me and James do check comments and respond to people often. Welcome to anybody new to the channel. I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome, 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 and thug life to you. We're going to head off this live, and we're going to get into the Never Ever Met next, and that's going to be a talk. So I appreciate everybody. Shout out to you, James, and we will see y'all on Never Ever Met. Adios.
Adios.